protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange.
Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode of Cinema Bros. If you are a science fiction fan, you are watching the right video. Today we have listed some of the most heart-pounding sci-fi movies. So without further delay, let's take a look at some of the best science fiction movies of this year.
You can't.
I'm trying to protect you.
Protect me from what?
NASA immediately.
Well, NASA and I aren't really on speaking terms these days.
Moonfall. Roland Emmerich is the king of natural disaster sci-fi films. Over the years, he has graced us with Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, and 2012, garnering him the title of Master of Disaster. Moonfall is his latest film about the moon heading for a collision course with Earth. It is intense to watch and I love the storyline. It is the next best entry into so bad it's good filmmaking that depicts the end of the world as we know it.
Wait for it.
Come on, Yang.
After Yang. After a small family's robot boy, named Yang, suddenly malfunctions beyond repair, they are forced to grieve his untimely absence and process how to move forward. By viewing his memory banks through his eyes, they are able to appreciate Yang less as a robot, and more like a brother and a son.
Wait, did you say duel to the death?
Duel. In the dystopian future of Duel, dying people can arrange to have themselves replaced by clones. But what happens to the clone if the original person doesn't die? So begins Sarah's nightmare. After she survives a terminal illness, Sarah's clone decides she wants to continue living Sarah's life. By law, only one Sarah can remain alive, so the two must duel to the death. Writer-director Riley Stearns explores themes of identity in a comic fashion, despite the devastating nature of the dilemma. Sarah teaching her combat trainer Trent how to dance as partial payment for her self-defense classes is a particular highlight. This movie got a 5.8 IMDb rating.
The nightmare begins.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi infuses the Marvel Cinematic Universe with his trademark horror in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Superhero sorcerer Stephen Strange must protect America Chavez, a dimension-hopping teenager, from someone seeking to steal her powers. Their flight across the multiverse takes them to the very limits of existence, with Strange grappling with his own issues and growing his own powers by confronting dark and disturbing versions of himself across dimensions, both alive and dead. Plus, Wanda Maximoff emerges as the emotional core of the film as she struggles with the harrowing aftermath of WandaVision. What results is a blend of terror, fantasy, and sci-fi you won't soon forget. This movie got a 6.9 IMDb rating.
That doesn't seem fair. We've all felt that the body was empty.
Crimes of the Future. David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future has a stomach-churning premise, with the sci-fi satire seeing a revolutionary tech mogul debut his latest surgical innovations via his own body. The body horror of Crimes of the Future is not as jaw-dropping as some of the director's earlier work, but it is still an intense watch with a lot to say about the ways in which technology has invaded even the most intimate elements of human life in 2022. Bleak, brutal, and often darkly funny, Crimes of the Future sees Cronenberg back to his unsettling best. This movie got a 5.9 IMDb rating.
That today.
Nope. Horror auteur Jordan Peele succeeds once more with Nope, a sci-fi horror film about siblings Emerald and Aj Haywood, horse wranglers to the stars. When a UFO begins hovering above their ranch, they decide to catch it on tape. But they're not the only ones with plans for the mysterious entity. Reporters, photographers, and a sleazy former child star all have their own designs. Nope tackles society's exploitation of tragedy, humanity's relationship with animals, and the treatment of below-the-line crew on film sets. This makes for a layered experience that will have you questioning your own assumptions from the very edge of your seat. This movie got a 6.9 IMDb rating.
I'm out here, and you're the only person in the world that can get it on film.
दुनिया से मार खाने की हमें आदत हो गई थी.
Loop Lapida, an adaptation of the celebrated German film Run Lola Run. Loop Lapida puts fallen track star Savvy in the lead. With her burgeoning athletic career derailed by injury, Savvy starts off in a dark place. Soon enough, however, she falls in love with Sadia, a charming criminal. After he leaves a bag of cash on a bus, Savvy must come up with the loot, lest Sadia be bumped off. But there's a twist: Savvy is stuck in a time loop. As the story replays over and over again, she must use her knowledge to bring about better outcomes. More comedic than its source material, Loop Lapeta is a thrilling trip through alternate timelines where the slightest change can have massive repercussions. This movie got a 5.2 IMDb rating.
थोड़ा sad नहीं हो जाएगा?
Neptune Frost. Neptune Frost is a singular work of Afrofuturism. It's a sci-fi musical with an audacious vision that mesmerizes even if, at times, the story seems elusive. Set in Burundi, the film follows a Colton miner named Matalusa and an intersex runaway named Neptune, who's played by Elvis Bobo and Gabo in the beginning of the film and Cheryl Ishija later on. At turns impressionistic and poetic, Neptune Frost features characters with symbolic names such as memory and psychology, and it primarily concerns an anti-colonialist hacker collective waging techno-war against an oppressive police state seemingly run by the authority. When Matalusa and Neptune meet, it creates a jolt that powers the collective's technological fight. Be prepared for the visuals and songs to get stuck in your cerebral cortex. This movie got a 6.7 IMDb rating.
Why do you want to hunt?
Prey, a Predator prequel set centuries before the original 1987 movie. Prey proved that the franchise could still be salvaged provided the creators dropped everything but the unforgettable eponymous villain. Amber Midthunder's Naru is an instant sci-fi icon who deserves a place alongside Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor as one of the genre's most formidable heroines. Prey's action is primarily comprised of one intense, unrelenting chase sequence that spares almost no one other than Naru, providing some of the franchise's cleverest moments and most shocking kills before setting up Prey's thrilling, triumphant finale. This movie got a 7.2 IMDb rating.
I can kill it.
Jurassic World: Dominion. Unlike its previous sequel, Jurassic World: Dominion leans into its silliness and is a stronger movie for it. The concluding chapter of the Jurassic Park reboot trilogy is far from perfect, but it is undeniably thrilling to see Laura Dern, Sam Neill, and Jeff Goldblum together again on the big screen after so many years. While the action set pieces are a touch overwrought, there's no denying the cast's chemistry and primary appeal of Jurassic World: Dominion remains intact as ever. This movie got a 5.1 IMDb rating.
Arrived at the home of Arabella Isadora on September 22nd, 2000.
Strawberry Mansion. This surreal sci-fi rom-com adventure stars Ken Tucker Audley as James Preble, a government agent who audits people's dreams. That's right, in the future this movie imagines, dreams are taxed. He soon discovers something more sinister afoot as he audits Bella, an elderly artist and the sole occupant of the titular home. Full of bizarre logic, oddball characters, and striking imagery, Strawberry Mansion is a splendid head trip guaranteed to expand your imagination. This movie got a 6.4 IMDb rating. Avatar: The Way of Water. This is also an upcoming American epic science fiction film directed by James Cameron and produced by 20th Century Studios. It is the second film in Cameron's Avatar franchise, following Avatar. We all know the first Avatar is one of the longest and top-rated movies ever with billions of dollars in revenue. I can't wait to watch the next in line in December before Christmas. Lightyear. Lightyear, which audiences are told upfront is the film that made Andy of Toy Story fame into a Buzz Lightyear fan, sees the titular hero's headstrong insistence on adventuring solo strand a ship full of his fellow space rangers on a hostile planet. Buzz winds up working with a crew of lovable misfits, including his former partner's granddaughter and an adorable robotic cat named Socks, to make things right. But can they overcome Zurg, the enigmatic villain sending waves of robots after them? This movie got a 6.0 IMDb rating.
Paradise? Whale calls?
No. White noise is fine.
Very well.
Good night, Socks.
Good night, Buzz.
Do you remember this?
The Adam Project. Director Sean Levy's The Adam Project could easily have been a disaster. The premise, a time traveler teams up with his younger self to save the world, has been mined by earlier efforts in the sci-fi adventure genre, and the movie's arrival on Netflix could have limited its appeal since the Adam Project's tone aimed to recreate the big, blockbuster-sized thrills of Amblin's 80 Seconds films. However, the Adam Project was successful upon its arrival, with the sweet story marrying memorable action sequences, solid character comedy, and a few moments of agreeably sentimental schmaltz. While Levy's work on the gory, dark Stranger Things Season 4 proved he knew when to let his punches land, the director's take on the Adam Project showed that there is also room for unabashed fun in the sci-fi landscape of 2022. Thus, the Adam Project became star Ryan Reynolds' best movie of 2022, another successful attempt to recreate the appeal of mid-80 seconds family blockbusters, and one of 2022 seconds best sci-fi movies so far. This movie got a 6.7 IMDb rating.
Nice try.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. While it has become something of a cliché to claim that a mainstream movie defies explanation, Everything Everywhere All at Once gives any audience member hoping to explain the movie's unique appeal a run for their money. A surreal journey through the multiverse, Everything Everywhere All at Once initially tells the story of Michelle Yeoh's Evelyn, a laundromat owner, and a cameoing Jamie Lee Curtis, her villainous IRS inspector. However, when Evelyn realizes she can move between parallel universes, Everything Everywhere All at Once turns this comedy-drama premise into an absurd, utterly original fusion of martial arts movie, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, and action. At once poignant, silly, and triumphantly original, Everything Everywhere All at Once is an endlessly inventive thrill side that must be seen to be believed.
There are some other movie-related videos on this channel that you can check if you want. And after all, if you like our channel, do subscribe. So, that's it for today. See you again in another new video. Until then, stay well and stay healthy.